Order. This is the January 10th, 2023 meeting of the Shrewsbury Select Board. We'll begin with the approval of bills, payrolls, and warrants.
Move approval?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Second item on our agenda is to review and act to approve the minutes of the December 20th, 2022 meeting and the December 20th, 2022 workshop.
Move approval?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Item number 3 on our agenda is announcements and reports. I have a couple of announcements to make. The first is that there is a yard waste survey ongoing. As part of our ongoing efforts to improve services, the Department of Public Works is asking residents for input on their preferences for yard waste collection. The DPW recognizes the inconvenience that the residents have had with yard waste collection and drop-off the past year, and we are working to create a better plan for the future. Many communities in the region are facing challenges with trash, recycling, and yard waste collection as a result of industry-wide issues. This survey will help us better understand our residents' needs and preferences so that we can formulate a plan and procure services that will create a more successful outcome. The survey can be found on the town's website, shrewsburyma.gov, and paper copies are available at the town hall, the library, and the senior center. We would greatly appreciate if you could take a few minutes to give us your input no later than 12 p.m. on January 27th, 2023. And when I saw this come out, I did it because I like to take surveys, and it is very easy, and I think it's a great opportunity for residents to productively share their thoughts on yard waste collection. I have a second announcement that I wanted to just share with the board and the community, that the DEIB Committee, Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging Committee, met for the first time last night. I was present, and Kevin and Taylor were both there with me. We were there to support the committee as they got started in their work. It was really a great experience. I think that we did a wonderful job appointing these members. They seem enthusiastic, ready to really start getting to work and engage with the community. We went over all of the basics with them, went through the charge, went through our commitment statement as a board, connected it back to the strategic plan, and we're looking forward to having another meeting on February 13th. So right now, the frequency of meetings will be about every month. The other thing we're going to do is connect them with Visions, who did the work with us around DEI, and so there will be that common language between what we learned as a board and then carry that through with the new committee. So that was pretty exciting, and I'm just really grateful that it's up and running. So exciting stuff. And then I just have one more announcement, and I can turn it over to Mr. Mizikar.
Sure.
And then we're gonna say a few nice things about Kristen Lass, who is leaving us to take a position as the town manager of Westford. And we're all really excited for you. And we're gonna take a couple minutes at the beginning of the meeting. And I know that's probably not what you wanna hear, but you were hopefully expecting it, to sort of talk about all the wonderful ways that you've contributed to Shrewsbury. And so I can let you go first.
Sure.
And then I know we all have some things we'd like to say as well.
Yeah, perfect. So, Kristen, for me, there's no one that has provided me with more support and leadership and management, honestly, throughout my career than you have. You, of course, have been a trailblazer for the town, being the community's first planning professional, but more importantly, I think what's so remarkable is that you took that opportunity to fully develop and ingrain the planning function into really the fabric of town operations. So going from 12 years ago 13 years ago with no planning professionals, and thinking about how planning is integral and how much this board relies upon planning is that's really taking it to the max, which you've always done here for the community. Certainly for me, since my first day on the job, you've supported and taught me the Shrewsbury way. And I'm also most grateful that you also dared to kind of chart a new course, which I feel has really helped us improve how we operate and provided significant benefit to the town residents. Everyone that didn't get to see the behind the scene operations, the conversations that Kristen and I have, she certainly gave me, which no one's going to be surprised, her best and brightest opinions each and every day, and then would give me the space to make the decision. even if it was different than what she would make. And she would do that simply by saying, "You are the town manager." And then I knew it was time to make the final decision and stop beating around the bush. So certainly being a local government executive and professional like Kristen is and will be throughout her entire career brings a lot of pressure, more than its fair share of negativity. But this entire board certainly knows that Kristen's always presented the most thoughtful and professional solutions to move the town of Shrewsbury forward, benefits the residents, and even has taken some of the madcap shots all the madcap shots that she's received with exceptional grace. So we know you'll go and do great things, and just thank you for everything that you've helped me with.
Thank you so much.
Who'd like to go next? I know we all have a few comments that we want to make, and
I'll go. It's hard to follow up Kevin, but
sure.
Kristen, I think about when I first started way back in 2006, 2007 on the school committee, and watching you at town meeting through the years with just a smart presentation time after time, clear, concise, and professional, and really have shown the professionalism and exemplify the professionalism that we have in town hall. I was writing down a few notes. I think of blocking and tackling some of the things you've done with social services or overseeing planning and economic development. But I think a lot about what you brought to the table is visioning with master plans and the planning that really is the precursor to the strategic plan which we're approving tonight. And that to me is something that you really have brought home to Shrewsbury, and we're going to benefit for many years to come from that, and you're going to benefit Westford very much as well. I view it the classic, it's bittersweet. It is, because we lose a highly skilled professional. You do a great job, A game every day. But I also take comfort knowing that we provided an opportunity for you to continue to grow and take chances and develop plans and hone your skill set and take it to the next level. And I take pride in that we also afforded you the opportunity. I know you won't be far away. Westford's a very similar community to Shrewsbury, and you and Kevin will continue to work together and share ideas. So I thank you for your service. You did a great job for our town, and please stay in touch.
Thank you so much, John.
I have not been here very long, so I'm sad that we didn't have as much opportunity to work together as some of the other folks on the board. But your professionalism, your technical knowledge that you've brought to the table is something that I've seen through the years being involved in the community, and the work that you've put into the pieces of what we do that touches the lives of everybody in our community has been amazing, and we're all better off for it, and thank you for it. And I'm very jealous of the town of Westford. They're very lucky to have you, and you'll certainly be missed here.
Thank you so much, Michelle.
Congratulations.
I'll pile on. Yes. I think to keep it short and sweet, Kristen, I've always been incredibly impressed with how good you are at your job. But in addition to that, just how your work ethic and your commitment to our town and to our residents and to all of us that are also part of the team is really unsurpassed. And you've made our jobs a lot easier and a lot more pleasant than they might otherwise be. Especially juggling, the demands, a lot of late nights, a lot of meetings. You have a young family that you're taking care of. So I echo what everyone is saying. I really appreciate all that you've done for us. And I'm proud of you, too. I really am excited for you and this opportunity. And I hope that I can tell you're sad. And I know it's hard. We're sad to have you go, too. But I agree with what John said. It's just such a testament to everything that you've done here, and we're excited for your growth and your success, and we hope that you'll stay in very close touch.
Thank you, Teresa.
One more.
We can get on with it.
And I know Mo he was very disappointed to not be able to, so I'm sure he'll stop by your office and tell you all the things he wanted to say tonight. But I think about the community when you arrived here, and I think about the changes, and it kind of lines up with how long I've been in Shrewsbury. I've been here 14 years, and I think of all the new growth and the new developments, and specifically Lakeway Commons, and thinking about the work that you put into that, and the liaison that you've been to the Lakeway Business District, the Shrewsbury Town Center Association. You've always worked to grow Shrewsbury and bring the economic development that we need, but in a way that's respectful of what the community wants to see and in the kind of growth that we need here in town. And it's just, we'll be opening market baskets, and like, you've had your hands in all of these amazing projects that will benefit our community for a very long time. And I really do wish you all the best. I know from our brief email exchanges that it's a challenge to leave something comfortable and do something so big, right? And with, as Teresa said, a young family, it's commendable, and really happy for you. And we have, Taylor said it was quite difficult to get this done, Jay, without you knowing. But we do have a
Didn't have too many
proclamation
meetings
for you. And I'll just read it so that people at home can hear what we wrote here. Kristen Lass has faithfully served the town of Shrewsbury with integrity and initiative for over 12 years. And whereas Kristen Lass served this community as a distinguished town planner and as the town's assistant town manager of community development and human services, and whereas Kristen Lass personifies the qualities of leadership, dedication, and integrity in her consistent application of her extensive knowledge and experience in local government management, and whereas Kristen Lass skillfully established the professional planning function for the town of Shrewsbury, enabling hundreds of millions of private investment and development that will benefit the community for generations to come. And whereas Kristen Lass has further served the residents of Shrewsbury through her roles on the Police Station Building Committee, Affordable Housing Trust, 495 Metro West Partnership, Southern New England American Planning Association, Central Massachusetts Regional Public Health Alliance, Home Heating Working Group, Worcester Regional Transit Authority, and Central Massachusetts Regional Veterans Service District. And now therefore it be resolved that we, the Select Board of the Town of Shrewsbury, extend to Kristen Lass the congratulations of the board for her many years of dedicated service, and extend to her the appreciation of the town and citizens of Shrewsbury for her service. In testimony thereof, we have signed our names officially and caused the seal of the town of Shrewsbury to be affixed to this 10th day of January in the year 2023. You can put this in your new office.
Thank you. That is very
We're
touching.
very, very
Thank you.
excited for you.
I appreciate that. Thank you all.
Thank you.
May I just say a thank
You sure
you?
can.
I would just like to thank all of the board members, Kevin and Dave and the town manager staff and all of the staff of the town of Shrewsbury and the residents. I have truly enjoyed all of my 12 years here in Shrewsbury. I never envisioned that I would work in local government when I first started out, and now I really can't imagine not touching local government. I'm going to miss everyone immensely, but staying local, and will hopefully be visiting and staying in touch and providing the town of Westford with the great tools that I learned here in Shrewsbury, building upon the strategic plan that we're excited to present tonight. And again, just thank you so much to everyone, and I will not be a stranger, and we'll be staying in touch. So again, thank you so much for your kind words tonight. It's very appreciated. Thank you.
All right, item number 4 on the agenda is a town manager's report.
So, just 2 updates from me. First, the police station, of course, is progressing on schedule. We anticipate full occupancy in the month of February. We have started moving furniture in, and final finishing touches are going on, various aspects of the flooring, carpentry work, woodwork, things like that, IT equipment being installed. It's really a sight to see, and we can't wait to share that with the community, which we will do later this spring once it's open and operating. I know everyone will be very impressed, as I was when I took a tour with Kristen last week. And then on a new endeavor note, I'm happy to share and announce that through a lot of work of Taylor and working on some of the initiatives that have been brought forth through the strategic plan, which we're going to talk about this evening, we have launched the Town Manager Download podcast. The podcast is available everywhere you can get a podcast, so Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, to Google, various aspects. So we encourage everyone to take a listen. Our goal with that podcast is to help inform people about local government generally, talk about how that applies here in Shrewsbury. And we feature guests and kind of get a little bit deeper for residents of Shrewsbury and others that are interested to learn more about our amazing staff. So There are 4 podcasts available for download and one more on the way.
Number 5 on Tuesday.
Yep, so next Tuesday, there's a new podcast that drops every other Tuesday. So again, thanks to Taylor for all her work on this. It's really fun. Kristen and Dave have both been on. Anything I say about the select board on there, some of them are jokes, some of them are true. So you guys can help sort that out. But it's been a lot of fun. We hope folks will enjoy it, and something that we look forward to doing.
All set?
All set. Thank
All
you.
right, very good. All right, item number 5 on the agenda is public comment pursuant to Select Board Policy 31 to offer citizens the opportunity to provide public comments during Select Board meetings on matters within the board's authority. No one has signed up for public comment this evening, but we always do encourage members of the public to sign up in advance if they have something that they'd like to speak to the board about. Item number 6 is meetings and hearings, a 7:05 PM public hearing with Adam Deshane on behalf of Demoulas Supermarkets, Inc., doing business as Market Basket, 200 Hartford Turnpike, regarding a common victuals license. So we'll invite you up to the table. And once you're settled, if you could just introduce yourselves.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. My name is Adam Deshane, and I will be the liquor store manager at the MD Spirits.
I'm Dan DeFosi. I'm going to be the store manager at the Market Basket.
Wonderful. All right, so you're here this evening for a common victuals license.
Yes.
Pretty straightforward. I see all the paperwork in order. Your hours of operation from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Sundays, and then 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. for the rest of the week, Monday through Saturday.
Correct.
And from what I hear, opening is soon.
Yep.
Friday.
Friday the
Friday.
13th.
It's depending on us, though, right? I mean, it's a lot of pressure riding on this board tonight. People are really excited, and I am one of them.
So we.
All right. Yep. Us as
So
well.
we.
Okay. Is there
Surprised
anything
how many
else?
people try to come in.
Are they? I bet they are. I
No,
bet.
we've seen it a few times. They come in, they grab a carriage, they start going up aisle 1, and we're like, "Excuse me, sir." But yeah, they're excited, and so are we.
Is there anything else we should know before we open this up, because it is a public hearing?
No, that's pretty much it. You know, we'll have 57 seats in the cafe to offer. We'll be offering the Market's Kitchen that does everything from grab and go to make your own meals and sit in the cafe. We'll have the bakery department as well. We're just offering a lot of great things over in that little corner over there in the cafe seating area. And it'll be a nice little spot for the community to hang out and enjoy a meal.
Yeah, and I think we've employed over 400 people.
Yep. So
Yeah,
the
so
the final
it's-
number was 395, and
Wow.
yeah, we've done very well down there. And it's surprising because as we keep getting closer to the opening, we actually received just within the last couple of weeks an additional 80 applications for people applying from all age groups. A lot of the 18 plus, and then as well as the 14 through 18 as well. So everyone's excited. It's very nice to be a part of the community.
You know, I hope you're ready for the crowds that you're going to see on that opening day.
Yes, we
We
are.
hope we are too.
Yeah.
All right, well, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone here from the public wishing to be heard? Okay, I'm not seeing anyone. So,
Motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Any discussion from the board?
Good luck. Look forward to it opening.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hold on, I'll take a motion to approve the.
Well, I just got a text from a friend saying that I better vote yes on this. Not to cave to pressure or anything, but I will make a motion to approve Demoulas Supermarkets, Inc., doing business as Market Basket, 200 Hartford Turnpike, application for common victular license.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So voted. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can't wait.
Congratulations to you as well.
So much.
Yeah, good luck.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll see you later this week, though.
Sounds good.
All right.
Okay, item number 7, I'm going to turn over to the town manager, and he is going to present the long-awaited final version of the strategic plan.
All right, board members. So this is a really exciting night. I know that you all have worked many hours on preparation for this, and as a board and a town leadership team, we've worked really in earnest for over 5 years and really turning the ship to a more performance-based and strategy-focused organization. So it's really my pleasure this evening to share the hard work that includes over hundreds of hours of staff time and a lot of resident input for Shrewsbury's first strategic plan. Taylor, if you can move forward. So we'll talk a little bit about the purpose of the plan and why we chose to develop it, and then we'll review the details of the plan itself in full, which we'll be sharing with the public through our website tomorrow and then through print materials within the next week or so. And then we'll talk about how we're going to implement it, because as much as we're going to begin celebrating the kickoff of the strategic plan itself, now it's time to get to work and really implement what the residents have asked us to do, and that's where our focus has already started over the last few months with the American Rescue Plan Act dollars that this board allocated, and then the fiscal year 2024 budget, which is under development, which will tie specifically into this plan. So Taylor, if you can come forward. So the goal for this document is really business-oriented and fundamental to how we're going to operate the town. And we sought to create a framework simply for the efficient and effective management of town operations. And local governments obviously are the closest body of government of all three levels to the residents. We take that very seriously every day. So we started with the residents, and it was our goal to develop a set of priorities for the entire organization that were based upon the wants, needs, and desires of the residents of this great community. With all that information, as we develop the plan, which I'm happy to share with you this evening, we will use that information to both measure and report upon our performance. One of the critical things that will be brought forth with the implementation of the strategic plan is a more transparent way of operating our government. And we'll be able to really answer the question, which I don't think we had a concise way to do before now. How are we doing? Are we accomplishing what the residents want us to do? And to what extent are we doing? At what cost are we doing that? And where are the trade-offs everywhere in between? And this plan it's my hope that this is far from the last plan. It's the first of many plans. What we look to do with this plan is accomplish the ideals and goals of the community, allow the community to evolve, and then set forth a plan that will succeed this one and continue to meet the future expectations of the residents. So this is not a one and done deal. This has a visionary timeline through 2030, and we will work to do everything that we can to accomplish all that within that time period. So Taylor, as we begin to share the actual strategic planning document, so we're really proud of the document in and of itself. I think it presents itself and is very representative of Shrewsbury. So we're proud of the document. We can't wait to share the physical copies with the residents that we are producing. This is a cover of the document, and then we'll get into, there's some preliminary things that we won't share with you this evening, so we are kind of hoping that you'll take the time to pick up your copy when they're available. Taylor, you can move forward to the next slide. So I want to talk a little bit about the process that we use to get here. So I had briefly mentioned that at the heart of every local government are our residents, and that has been the key focus of this plan. We started this plan issuing the town's first community-wide national community survey to ask residents to tell us how well they thought we were doing, where we could do better, and what they would like to see us work on in the future. Keeping with that theme, we worked diligently with civic and professional organizations. We went to them, had a lot of focus time with them, gathered their feedback. Throughout the summer months, we attended farmers markets, food trucks, in-person community forums, virtual community forums for residents to engage, provide their feedback. and thoughts on what would make Shrewsbury better. And at the end, just to ensure we got to everyone and everyone had an opportunity, we asked for final feedback through 2 mailings to each and every household. And in total, received just shy of 3,400 unique pieces of feedback throughout the process. So we were citizen-centric throughout the entire process, and we're proud of those results. The document itself starts off out at the highest level with a vision statement that has been developed by the select board in response to the resident feedback. And it's a really simple statement, but also very powerful at the same time. And it reads, Shrewsbury is a vibrant, inclusive, and collaborative community where all can thrive. Gives us plenty of opportunity, a lot of challenges and opportunities associated with trying to achieve a vision like that. It's something that we'll honestly never be able to get to in its most ideal form, but that's really the purpose and why we're heading there. The mission statement was developed by town staff members, developing with their hearts and minds how they will work to move the town of Shrewsbury in the direction of its vision statement. And then at the bottom, the values of integrity, inclusion, and innovation will serve all residents well, and definitely staff as their key components on how they'll interact with residents and each other in moving towards the accomplishment of this vision. The plan lays itself out into 5 strategic outcome areas. This is the heart of the feedback that we receive from residents. This identifies the 5 most critical areas that we will focus on in the accomplishment of this strategic plan. And they lay out as engaged and connected, exceptional, thriving, prosperous, and sustainable. So Taylor, if you can move on. So the document itself briefly has 2 pages for each of the 5 strategic outcome areas. On the left side of each one of these layouts, you'll notice the outcome area itself, a few bullets that further describe and detail what's associated with the outcome area. On the far right-hand side of the layout, there's more specific strategies that the select board will use in focusing the efforts of town staff over the course of the next 3 to 5 years. And then we wanted to take the opportunity to also highlight where work has already begun in some of these areas. So many of these projects predate the beginning of the strategic planning process, but we really wanted to show the town that we were hitting the ground running, that although we didn't have a formal plan in place, we had heard what they were requesting and trying to do better. So where those initiatives tied into what were the outcome areas, we've included a project highlight with associated photos. So this first strategic outcome area is engaged and connected. It's really a communications-focused outcome area. It has both internal components for town staff to work on how they operate with each other, with various aspects of the organization, with various boards and committees, and then, of course, how we all interact with the residents of the town of Shrewsbury. So this is an area that we saw the most consistent feedback. Residents were imploring us to tell us more about what we did, provide better opportunities and means of communicating information to them and receiving information from them. So there's going to be a lot of work in this area. Select Board hit the ground running and providing funding for various communication initiatives, a communications coordinator, specialist level position. So we're really excited about this. And as I mentioned earlier, a really immediate outcome, an initiative that we've established is the Town Manager Download podcast, which is a direct initiative that was set forth underneath the strategic outcome area. So the second strategic outcome area in the plan is known as exceptional. And this is the most internally focused aspect of the strategic plan and strategic outcome areas. This really drives internal operations. It speaks to fiscal responsibility, long-range planning, how we develop and innovate ways we'll provide services to residents, and the type of infrastructure and services that we'll provide to them. Again, this is the most internally focused, provides plenty of opportunities both for physical infrastructure and social service areas to set aspirational goals and interact with residents to build upon the things that we're already doing. And then the third outcome area is entitled Thriving. And this is all the the next two remaining outcome areas I like to talk about together. So Thriving is really kind of an how can we best support the fundamental needs of the individuals within the community? How can we provide those basic human services, quality of life initiatives to really hold the fabric of the community together? It talks about public safety, social services, educational opportunities, cultural and social experiences, transportation needs, and active and passive recreation. So this gives individuals the opportunity to thrive within the community and be their best self. There's a significant number of strategies. This is really a key area where I think the town operations can grow and expand services to residents, build upon some of the programs that we have, but plenty of opportunities to think of doing things differently and expanding on what it is that we already do. So Taylor, if you can move ahead. So not on the other side of the coin, but just in a different way of thinking. Prosperous is more of a whole community rather than an individualistic look at how we do things. So, following the saying of rising tides raise all ships, this talks about enhancing outcomes for all residents, promoting general livability, bringing economic development, and business attraction to the community, setting the right course for retail and restaurants that build community, ensuring housing meets the needs of all residents. So it's a broader perspective than the individual needs that would be addressed through Thriving. This one's a little bit more financial and fiscally oriented. Thriving is a little bit more social service oriented, but still plenty of opportunities and very unique strategies for town staff, especially in community development, to really focus on the direction for the future. Of course, the project spotlight here with this one is the revitalization of the town center, which is a burgeoning success story for the community. And then the final area is an all-encompassing area known as sustainable. It talks about how we're going to plan and use the land in the community, both that's developed and undeveloped, what our role is in sustaining, having a sustainable way of doing business, reducing the town's carbon footprint, doing our part to mitigate climate change, preparing for climate change because of the reality that we're faced and challenges that are associated with it. The project spotlight associated this with is the work that we've started for a climate action and resiliency plan, which will first document and identify the town's carbon footprint and then find ways to mitigate and reduce that in the years to come. So 5 really exciting strategic outcome areas that provide the framework that we've received from residents to focus our work in the future. When we really think about how we're going to implement this plan, the first thing that we've talked about with the board and I've rolled out to town staff is, what does ownership of this plan look like? Who owns what levels of it? So this simplistic look really takes the various aspects of the plans and the various direct owners associated with it. So as I said at the beginning, we went to the residents and we asked them to develop the vision. Where do you want to see the town of Shrewsbury in the future? So we will always look to the residents to control that and help us have them define the future outcomes that they want to see. The select board and the town manager will own the high-level implementation The year-to-year priority setting will be set through the Board of Selectmen at the outset of the budget process. This year, we did a survey of Select Board members to focus those strategies that you saw listed within the outcome areas to really help us identify near-term priorities. Those priorities will be rolled out in a number of ways through the town manager's office as we direct department heads and work with them to develop best ideas to implement those strategies. Those strategies will be implemented through programs, projects, and initiatives that will be led across all departments and divisions of the organization. And they will tie down into individual employee goals and initiatives that they will lead and be responsible throughout either a single fiscal year or multiple fiscal years. So we're really taking this plan from the high-level vision that was set by the community and ensuring that each and every individual employee is focused on that on their day-to-day work. So how are we going to do that? Really simple, and I won't get too boring into the management theory, but the operating budget is going to be the key aspect that moderates how much of the plan that we can take on given our fiscal opportunities and constraints that we have. So we're going to use the ideals behind the strategic plan in developing the annual operating budget. When those funds are approved throughout the long process of setting the budget from the select board to the town meeting, and once those funds are appropriated, that'll enable our work throughout the strategic plan and how we'll manage on a day-to-day basis. And that strategic management component is really simply boiled down to what are we going to plan to do, what budget funds do we receive, manage those to the best that we can each and every day, evaluate the programs that we're offering, do they meet the requirements, the bar, the ideals that were established in the strategic plan, make changes where necessary, show our work and transparency through the residents, and then continue on in the next year or through the next initiative associated with this plan. So my final slide in conclusion, again, going back to the citizen-centric approach, we really started with the residents, wanted their feedback, received their feedback, and allowed them to set the priorities for the next 5 or so years. This will be used as our primary management framework for the efficient and effective management of all town operations. Individual goals, budget requests will all be tied and cascaded together when those funds are made available for us to work on programs and projects. And we've begun work with meetings with each and every town staff member to show them clear examples of how they can align their own work with this high-level document. So congratulations to the board. Thank you for all the work that you've done to get us here. We're really excited to share this with the community.
Excellent, thank you. Board members, any comments or thoughts around the presentation? Mr. Samia.
Thank you. First, I want to thank Mr. Mizikar and all of town staff for helping develop this strategic plan. And what's the constant theme throughout this, it's the residents' plan. As the second or third to last slide that you had in terms of the vision is from the residents. And from there, day-to-day operations will be aligned with the desires and wants of the residents within our financial resources and our capability. About 3 years ago, we had the opportunity to speak with the equivalent of the town manager's office in Olathe, Kansas. That's one of the gold standards of municipal strategic planning, and the genuine excitement that we heard through staff. All of us took lots of notes and just thought maybe we could replicate what they did. But we didn't replicate what they did. We provided what Shrewsbury needs, but the excitement was throughout this process, and it's really among all of us today. The community outreach, the surveys, the forums, the mailings, the pop-ups, that is ingrained as part of this. And if you look at really sort of the sub-levels within this, it's a constant interaction with residents, whether it's a every other year survey or through improved communication. But that's an important part for the effectiveness of this plan. we've seen the value of planning, right? Particularly right before the pandemic, Mr. Mizikar developed a financial forecast, unbeknownst at the time that we're going to have a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic. And immediately that was pivoted over to where we find ourselves today in as strong of a financial position as we have been in a long time, together with somewhat clarity, or as much clarity as you can have in today for several years out, to make sure we adhere to the promises we made to the residents. But it's all part of good planning, being flexible, practical, realistic, and transparent. Alignment's important. We talked a lot about that, from the residents all the way down to individuals throughout the organization. And I think that will result in continuous improvement. Everything can be measured, constant engagement, efficiency, effectiveness, and continued excellence. So I'm really excited about this. We've already seen it guiding part of the second tranche of ARPA funding, and we'll continue to see this throughout. But I'm really excited about seeing how this will unfold over the next 7 years, or 5 as we set really the goals within this for the community, and excited with all the facets of it that as folks come in and read into it, it's really meant to touch the whole community as well and engage the whole community so that we meet the vision. So thanks for all of your hard work, and again, thanks to the residents and everyone who participated. I think this is a great day for our town, so thanks.
Anyone else? I just had a few comments. One, you congratulated the board, but we should be congratulating you. I know that this is a vision that you had when you came here to be the town manager in this community, and we were just really excited that you had that enthusiasm, because it was definitely enthusiasm that we all shared, especially Selectman Samia. And I think, in 2019 when we had that conversation with Olathe and things stopped because of the pandemic, I think it's probably better that it happened that way, because the world now is so different from the world before. And I think that this plan might not have been as relevant or as reflective of what the community really does value if we had been so deep into it in 2019. A couple of thoughts that I just had, that there was so much work on the part of everyone, not just like residents, but also town staff and this board, in just fine tuning every page of this document down to like single word choices, and thinking through how, I know I was always looking at other communities' strategic plans to see like what word did they use, and now other communities will be looking at ours, and we will be an example of what a strategic plan should look like. And I'm really proud of that, and I'm proud of everyone that's worked on this. I hope that what it does achieve is to improve trust in local government, to improve that transparency. It's so readable. I hope that residents take the time, once the actual hard copies are available. It's not very long. It's very colorful and interactive. Read through it. This is really our vision, your vision for our community. And it's a living document that we're going to be really referring back to for the foreseeable future. I had one question, and just wondering from your perspective, I know we're starting the budgeting process. How do you see the strategic plan impacting the budget process this year as you work with departments?
That's really where departments are starting. We used to call it enhanced budget requests, but now it's tied into this overall plan. So when departments are thinking about, whether it's additional staff, new ways of doing programs, new initiatives for the residents, it's all, this is the foundation of all of it. So it's really where everyone starts. So I hope that inflation doesn't deteriorate too much of what we could have otherwise done, but we'll deal with that through the budget process. But I'm excited to be able to produce a budget that will share these icons and really say, you ask us to spend money here and do these things, and here's how we plan to do it.
Thank you. Okay, so we do need to take a vote to accept this. It's more of a formality. We've worked so hard on it, I can't imagine anyone saying they don't want to accept it. So I'll take a motion.
Sure. Motion to approve the Shrewsbury 2030 strategic plan.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So voted. Item number 8 is to review and act on the 6-month review of the Select Board Policy 31, which is our public comment policy. When we created this policy, we had put in that we wanted to revisit it in 6 months to see what was working and what isn't working. And we all know that we've had one person take advantage of the policy in 6 months. So it's kind of hard to make that sort of a determination. So my recommendation is to leave the policy as is, because we haven't had enough time to really know if there's something in it that we want to change, and then be fluid and flexible in revisiting it if a board member sees the need as the policy gets hopefully a little bit more use.
Great.
Okay. So we'll just, we'll need to make a motion to do that. It says review and act, right? So we have to vote to not?
Could I ask, is this something like we would look at, reevaluate again in another 6 months, or like what is the next?
I think as needed. I mean,
Okay.
That's how the other policies are.
Right.
There's
As
no
needed.
time. Generally, except for policy 25, there wasn't really a tail on our
Any
policies.
other policy.
so do we need to vote on this?
I don't think you need to vote on it.
Okay.
You're not making any changes.
Excellent. Okay, item number 9 is to review and act on the address change request for 34 to 54 Oak Street from Patricia A. Wolf pursuant to Select Board Policy 29, and there is rationale for why this address change has been requested. There was a recent public safety call to this property, and our first responders did have difficulty finding the right house because of the way it's marked, and historically, they have used 44 Oak Street. So I don't know if there's anything more that anyone would like to add on this.
Staff, it was reviewed by internal staff and nobody had any issues with the change.
Okay.
So motion to approve the address change request from Patricia A. Wolf pursuant to Select Board Policy 29 from 34 to 54 Oak Street to 44 Oak Street.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, so voted. Item number 10 is to review and act, I know it's loud, it's distracting. Review and act on the renewal of the intermunicipal agreement of animal control, animal inspector services with the towns of Westboro and Grafton for a 6-month period through June 30th, 2023. And this is something that we do regularly. We've been reviewing it in 6-month increments as we work to come up with a longer-term plan around our intermunicipal animal control services.
I will make a motion to renew the intermunicipal agreement of animal control, animal inspector services with the towns of Westboro and Grafton for a 6-month period through June 30th, 2023.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So voted. Item number 11 is to review and act on the proposed dates for actions relative to the May 2023 annual town meeting. I know that we had a survey that was done, and we can talk a little bit about that. But right now, we have the following dates. We are recommending that the annual town meeting for 2023 be held on Monday, May 15th, 2023, and propose that the board holds the following dates for actions relative to the annual town meeting. So we would have Tuesday, February 28th for the select board to set the time and place for the 2023 annual town meeting. Tuesday, March 14th would be reviewing the draft annual town meeting warrant. Tuesday, March 21st would be the deadline for citizens petitions to be received by the town clerk's office with 10 signatures. The 28th would be our board signing the final annual town meeting warrant. And then the 25th, this select board would vote to recommend or not recommend the warrant articles for the annual town meeting. The timeline is subject to change, and if the annual town meeting does not conclude in one day, it will continue on either Tuesday, May 16th, or Wednesday, May 17th, 2023. And the Finance Committee will hold public hearings on the warrant on Thursday, April 13th, and Thursday, April 27th, if necessary. So, if you wouldn't mind just speaking a little bit to the survey that went out to town meeting members and how we arrived at the
definitely.
Monday.
So on behalf of the select board, our office of the town manager sent out a survey to all the town meeting members on their preference of if they preferred to have annual town meeting Mondays at 7 p.m. like we did historically pre-pandemic, or Saturday at 8:30 a.m., which we did this past year and during COVID, I believe. Overwhelmingly, we had 122 responses of the 240 members. 62.3% said they had a preference for Monday at 7 p.m. And then we asked a follow-up question of their preference between the second night of town meeting. And it was 61-38 split of preference towards a Tuesday second meeting. So obviously with scheduling, do our best to accommodate that. But there was a stronger preference to hosting it Monday night instead of the Saturday in the morning.
Thank you.
Yep.
And thank you to those town meeting members that responded to the survey. It really helps to inform the decision-making process. And we, of course, recognize that not everyone's going to like this decision, but we did just want to go with the majority. Right. Any further comments or discussions? If not, I'll take a motion.
Motion to accept the dates for actions relative to the May 2023 annual town meeting as proposed.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Item number 12 is to review and act on the First Amendment to the Land Disposition Agreement with Civico Greenlee Development for property located at 1 through 7 Maple Avenue. And I'm just going to turn that over to Mr. Mizikar to give us a little bit of background.
Oh, sure. So this First Amendment to the agreement adjusts the dates associated with the agreement to reflect the current schedule associated with the planning board. The original agreement, which was struck in March of 2022, anticipated that the planning board discussion and applications would arrive for their October meeting, but the developer was about 2 months behind schedule on that. So we made, those changes to, which would be customary to allow them to get through the full and due diligence of the planning process and then establish closing dates and any contingencies associated or allowed with that process after approval at the planning board. So just cleans up the agreement where we are currently in the process now.
And this is something that was jointly requested and is pretty typical. It's just that because this is a public-private partnership, we wouldn't normally see this in a development that was happening that didn't have any sort of public connection.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's really a 60-day adjustment to the schedule to allow them to get through the planning process. And you're right, if this was a private land transaction, this would be being done behind the scenes and not in a public meeting, but that's how we operate.
Okay.
So.
Any questions? All right, then I will take a motion.
Motion to approve the First Amendment to the Land Disposition Agreement with Civico Greenlee Development for property located at 1 through 7 Maple Avenue.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Item number 13 is to review and act on the request from Shasheen Jain on the issuance of a proclamation for the Health and for Humanity Yogathon organized by Hindu Swamesevik Sangh USA, January 14th, 2023 to January 29th, 2023.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Item number 14 is to review and act on the appointment of Christopher McGoldrick, Director of Planning and Economic Development, as a member of the Complete Streets Committee for a 3-year term set to expire June 30th, 2026. And I believe this is to fill your vacancy.
Actually, it's to fill Mr. Cahill's vacancy.
Okay.
There'll be another action to fill another vacancy in the coming weeks.
All right.
My fault.
That's okay. That's fine. No problem.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So voted. Okay, we will be entering into executive session this evening, but before we head in that direction, I'm going to take care of the correspondence. Item number 16 is an email dated December 12th, 2022 from Rabbi Michael Green regarding the menorah lighting on the Common. That was lovely to see. Item number 17 was an email dated December 20th, 2022, from Tony Bonaventura, 120 Howe Ave, regarding Phase 2 ARPA funding plan comments and request. Item number 18 was an email dated December 17th, 2022, from Carlos Garcia, 10 Pond Avenue, regarding request for ARPA funds to be used for ADA improvements. And just as a note, we do have some funding still remaining from the ARPA dollars that we allocated after our forum. As the manager said, you know, there are inflationary, costs that could incur. So we do have some money set aside if we need to put that toward projects that we've approved that may be a little bit more expensive, but then we will take into consideration the requests from residents. Some very good ideas came from the emails. Item number 19 is an email dated December 23rd, 2022, from Valerie Clemmy, Selco Communications Coordinator, regarding cable TV franchise renewal proposal 2023. Item number 20 is an email dated December 28th, 2022, from Frank Vaccaro, 7 Bryan Ave, regarding children's signs for both directions. And I will just pause to say that Mr. Vaccaro reached out to me and asked about the traffic situation on Bryan Ave, where he owns a few properties, and he's concerned with the rate of speed at which people are traveling. And so I did explain to him the process according to our policy for an advisory sign, and how that would need to be a cost borne by the resident, and the maintenance of that would be by the resident, but the town would install the sign. But again, those signs don't really come with any enforcement. I talked to him about possibly locating one of the electronic speed signs. Mr. Mizikar helped with that. It's already on the street. He was very happy to have that there. So I would suggest that we refer this to the Highway Department for coordination and to share the pricing with Mr. Vaccaro and the sign specifications, and then bring it back to our board to approve. And then item number 21 is an email dated January 2nd, 2023, from Sanam Zaire, Director of Elementary and Middle School at Alhambra Academy, regarding an invitation to the Jungle Book performance, which will be held on January 28th. And an email dated January 3rd, 2023, from Dr. Noor Ali, Principal of Alhambra Academy. Please join us in Rising Together. It was a fundraiser that was held last weekend. And item number 23 is the ZBA decision from December 20th, 2022 for Bach Shrewsbury Worcester LLC for a variance and 2 special permits for property located at 701 and 713 Boston Turnpike. And so we will be adjourning to go into executive session and not coming back into open session. So there's a motion for executive session.
I move that the board vote to enter into executive session pursuant to General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A6, for the purposes listed on the agenda.
Okay. And do I
Second.
have to read the rest of this, though, right? Yeah. So it's executive session to consider the purchase, exchange, or lease of value of real property because an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the board. General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A6, 15 Maple Avenue, 29 Hill Street, 104 Grove Street, and 457, 439, and 443 Lake Street. And we need to take a roll call vote. So I will start with Selectman Flynn
Aye.
and Select Board Member Samia
Aye.
and Select Board Member Conlon.
Aye.
And myself, aye. So we will adjourn into executive session. Thank you and good night.